Good afternoon. My name is Taha, and today I'm going to be talking about my project for the course EE 102. My project is a security system because, as you know, security is a major concern for everyone nowadays, whether if it's the defense sector of a country or whether it's your personal security at home. Everyone wants to feel safe all the time. And I feel that simply by using cameras outside your house, which can easily be detached because they're external to your home, implementing such a device and using such a device which calculates distance, measures objects, but you can't see how it's measuring this is really fascinating. And that's why for my project I'm using an ultrasonic sensor because an ultrasonic sensor generates ultrasonic waves. It makes these waves generated through pulses and echoes. These echoes are generated through a trigger generator which basically acts as a stimulus. It stimulates the ultrasonic sensor to generate sound ultrasonic waves, and it calculates the distance of the object through the pulse width, because when these ultrasonic waves are generated, they reach the object. For example, if this is the object, the ultrasonic wave is going to get reflected and return back to the sensor. Now, this is my sensor. It generates ultrasonic waves through these two ports. Now, for my project, I'm going to show how if an object comes close to these waves, how the distance is going to be shown on the 7 segments. And if the distance becomes less than 20 decimeters, then this is a scenario where the continuous LED, which is flashing beyond 20 decimeters, will become constant after the distance is below 20 decimeters. So let's get started. This is my home, which you have to imagine that this is a home. Okay. So now, for example, someone is standing outside your home, and this is going to be showing on the 7 segments of the basis 3. Now, as you move closer to your sensor, your distance becomes less. Now, as you can see that even at 20 decimeters, the LED of the basis 3 is continuously flashing. Now, as soon as my distance becomes less than 20 centimeters, the LED becomes constant. Now, there are several ways that to determine the scope of this device that I've constructed. For example, you can connect external hardware to this very output of this LED, such as a buzzer, if you want to produce a sound. But furthermore, I just feel that this is a very cheap setup, that you can easily implement this and you can easily use this for your own security and mass produce this on a wide scale and easily make security, self-security and personal home security, as well as if you want to use this in your car, you can use this on a variety of different objects for security. Implementing this code was a little difficult. The only difficulty which I really faced was the part of the trigger generator, which later I realized that the trigger generator uses the clock of the FPGA and then uses this to output a trigger to the sensor, which then in return outputs a pulse. And then this is later on used to calculate this distance I have two main modules. One is a range sensor module. In the range sensor modules, there are sub-components. One is the distance calculation module. One is the trigger generator module. One is the binary conversion to decimal module. And one is the pulse module. Yes, the pulse module. So basically, the distance module is calculating the distance, and then the binary conversion to decimal converter takes in the distance as an input from the distance calculation module, and then converts this from binary to decimals. Uh, and then these decimals are divided into centimeters, units, and decimeters, which is then given off as an output. This output is then used as an input to the segment driver module. The segment driver module is basically used to control the 7 segments. As you can see, on my 7 segments, you see, it goes up to beyond. Well, this is a limitation for this sensor because there is a lot of background noise, and this pulse waves which are generated from the ultrasonic sensor, they can deviate to the sides. That's why I think that up till 90 decimeters, this shows properly. Now, if you can see that these are the units, these are the tens, these are the hundreds. I cannot use the last segment of my basis 3 because this sensor has a 4-meter limit. So it can't basically show this. So I've set this to be 0 constantly. But these 3 segments can be used to show the distance up till basically this limit. Now I know you must be thinking that what is the main purpose for this. The scope of this experiment is very large, like the scope of this entire course. You can easily use this same sensor inside your car, inside your home, in front of a safe or anything you want to protect. And then if you have this distance measuring 7 segments inside your room and this sensor is on your door, you can easily tell if some object or some person or some animal or someone is coming close to you up to the point that they are trying to enter the room. And then you can know this through the blinking LED, which becomes constant, that there is a threat or there is some problem. Now, one thing that I want to show you on my code is that in this range sensor module, as you can see, that this is my RTL schematic. This is for the pulse width, which is being used to calculate the distance. This is the segment converter, which is basically the BCD converter, which as you can see converts it into hundreds, tens, units. It takes the distance, which is outputted from the distance calculation module as an input. These go on to the segment driver module, which is converting it into display. And since the 7 segments has 7 cathodes and 4 anodes and uses a multiplexer, we are able to see the distance on the 7 segments of the basis 3. When I was initially designing my project, I was really confused about what to do, but then I started thinking that a realistic implementation of a digital code with hardware in such a project, I was really interested in implementing this through a security system, because Later on, I would really want to sell this product off because I feel that there is a huge scope for mass production of such a cheap home security system and then implementing this in a variety of different sectors. Thank you for your time and I hope you liked my presentation. बस खत्म हो गया